Trail talk time. Out on another beauty of a trail. Gorgeous sunny day. Feeling nice with a little cool down now. Breathing in that fresh chi. Feeling great. And today I wanted to talk about like spiritual eating. You know, the food that we eat, it has such a big impact on us and the way that we think and the way that we feel and the way that we live our lives. And I think eating should be, you know, a sacred practice, a sacred ritual. And so these are just some things that, you know, I feel are helpful, that have helped me in my life. And the biggest thing is just to be grateful, right? To give thanks for having food to eat in the first place. You know, just taking a moment before you eat to recognize how significant it is, how special it is, how important it is to be able to have this food that you're going to eat, and to give thanks for it. You know, to feel grateful and be appreciative of it. And that attitude of gratitude is going to, you know, fill up your whole experience of eating now, because you set yourself up to have that vibration, and you're actually passing it on to your food as well. So, you know, the whole part of that ritual, it brings out the beauty of the experience of eating. And food can actually really take on these vibrations, right? There was a study done by this scientist, his name was Baxter, and he came up with this Baxter effect by seeing how his emotions, his intentions and thoughts, or his energies were affecting these plants that he was studying. They were giving off reactions to certain things, and he realized that there wasn't anything else going on besides his own thoughts that he was projecting out, and the plant would pick up on it. And if it was like a negative thought, or he was giving off a negative vibe or emotion, then they would pick up on that, and it would actually start to affect it in a negative way. And on the other end, when he would give off a positive vibration, the plant would pick up on that, and it would actually start to nurture the plant and become healthier because of these positive vibrations. And so the same goes for anything in life, you know, when we're giving off these certain vibrations, our whole environment, everything around us is picking up on it. Everything is reacting to your vibration and responding. And so the food that we eat, when we can say a blessing towards it, when we can give it a blessing and put off these positive vibrations towards it, like the vibration of gratitude and love, then the food will pick up on this, and it will start to actually become healthier for you when you're eating it. And it's so amazing. There's also this scientist, Dr. Emoto. Many of you might have heard of him. He did experiments on meditating on a certain feeling or a word like love, I love you, on these things of rice, right? One, he did I love you, and he just, you know, felt that love towards it. And another one, he said I hate you, and he put towards all this negative energy towards it. And the third one, he just sort of left alone. He didn't really put his vibration towards it. And after a while, you see 3 different results on the 3 things of rice. The one that he said I love you towards, it actually started to give off this really sweet aroma, and it changed in a very unique way. And the one that he put out the negative vibes towards, the hate, that started to give off this incredibly bad smell and became black and putrid. And the one that he just left, it just rotted and turned moldy like most food would when you just leave it alone when it's not fresh anymore. And it just shows that, you know, the experiment shows the only difference was in all of these 3 rices, the vibration that he gave towards it, right? He put his emotion into the rice and it completely changed the result. It changed the structure of the rice. And so when we're praying before we eat and we give thanks to our food and we bless it, especially saying things out loud like thank you or blessings or whatever you say, the food is going to pick up on that vibration and it's going to become healthier when we eat it. And another thing that I think is helpful is just to be present while we're eating, right? Actually fully experience, you know, the process of eating our food. A lot of the times, even myself, you know, we become distracted by other things while we're eating. We might be on our phones a lot, checking email or watching videos or whatever we're doing. You know, I'm guilty of it. But a lot of the times I like to just sit with my food and really experience it. They call it mindful eating, right? Like, chew your food slowly, masticate your food, and you become one with the food. You have this beautiful divine relationship with the food, and it's a wonderful experience to just savor each and every bite and to love that experience of eating. I talked about after I did my 3-day water fast a couple summers ago, that first meal that I had after was so amazing, right? Just 3 days without eating, and all of a sudden you remember, wow, this is such an amazing thing. The taste of the food, really tasting it, really enjoying that experience and not taking it for granted. And that's really what the whole point of this video is to not take, you know, having something to eat for granted. Really be mindful that this is an amazing thing, this is a special thing, and be thankful for the food that you have. And of course I want to talk about veganism, because changing my diet has helped me so much in my life in so many ways. I've talked about it in a few videos. You know, when we're taking on these dead animals that don't want to be killed, they're giving off so much fear. Their bodies are full of these hormones of adrenaline and fear that are still contained within the meat. And so when we eat it, we're taking on all of that fear and negativity. And you know, coming from my own experience, I just simply couldn't continue to partake in eating any animals once I realized how much pain they're really being caused every day and how much suffering we're causing animals because of, you know, thinking that we need to eat them. And after going on a plant-based diet, switching to a plant-based diet, I've felt so much more free flowing in my energy and peaceful. Like, I don't have that excess fear pumping through me anymore. And that's because I'm not taking it on from the animals. So I feel a lot more clear and connected to animals and to just my own energy, to feel my own vibe instead of feeling these animals' energy that are, you know, being consumed. Whatever we're eating is information, right? excuse me, and this information is, bringing us into form, right? It's informing us. And so if we're taking on all of that negativity, then we're coming into a more negative form. And there's so many benefits to a plant-based diet. It just feels amazing to eat more plant-based foods in general, right? To have that electric food, that living food, raw food that has live enzymes in it, that's really bursting with energy. They do this type of photography, I think it's called Kirlian photography, where they actually can see the aura or the energy of the food and see how much energy it's giving off. And you'll see in like live raw foods, fruits and veggies, there's so much more energy that's pouring out of this food as compared to like dead foods, like a dead animal. So you see the energy difference in the food. Scientifically, they show it in this photography, and it's really amazing how it can affect our bodies, right? We're electrical beings, as Dr. Sebi would say. So we need that electric food to bring that energy to us. And another thing that I wanted to talk about was, even if you don't want to adopt a plant-based diet or anything, I think it's still good to at least once in a while maybe cut out some things that aren't serving you in your diet. Maybe try and go plant-based for one day out of the week, or start with little things like that. But even if you don't wish to do that, then just to respect the animals, right? Like so many native cultures, indigenous cultures, there's a sacred ritual involved in the whole process of hunting. And once you get the kill, in the way that you kill the animal and everything, and the way that you pay respect to the animal and you utilize it wisely, you show it that love and gratitude for giving you this meal and whatever else you were taking from the animal. And I think that's very significant. Again, it brings about this beauty in the ritual of the whole experience, to just give thanks for the animal before you eat it, to really remember that this is a live being. And when you take a life, just realize the significance of what is happening, right? Because all living beings deserve respect. You wouldn't want somebody to just come and stamp you out, or you wouldn't want to, just be born in this life to suffer, to live in a cage and just to become someone's supper. If we can put ourselves into the animal's position and start to feel what they feel, then we'll realize, no animal wants to die, no animal wants to suffer the way that so many do on this planet. I was just talking to my girl about it last night when I first started to learn about, what animals go through in these factory farms and everything, and they get treated like they're just products. It's so sad to see, and it makes me get sad just thinking about it, I think we can all do a better job of really treating the animals with the respect that they deserve, right? They're living beings, they have their own life, they have their own feelings, they're sentient, they have an intelligence, a high intelligence, and we often don't treat them as such. We treat them as less than us. And I think there's so many things that are going on the planet in a negative way, and it's a reflection of how we treat this planet and treat each other, including the animals. But yeah, just the whole process of eating, there's so much to talk about. Like I said, it's such a sacred thing. You know, we're taking something in to our body and it's assimilating into our body, right? They say you are what you eat, so it's important to be mindful of what we're eating and how we're eating and the whole process around it. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was a practice that I got from Teal Swan, and that's putting your love into a glass of water. You know, sitting with the glass of water and just thinking about all the things that you love, like that you truly love unconditionally. For me, I think about nature and the beauty of the earth and how abundant it is, and you know, just seeing animals when I'm outside, birds flying free and squirrels jumping around. I think about the sun shining down, and I think about music and things that make me really happy, things that I really love unconditionally. And I just continue to pour that love into this glass of water that I'm holding and sitting with. And she recommends doing it for 20 minutes. So just putting in that continual energy of love into your water. Again, your water is going to pick it up. Water is so receptive to the energies all around it. And afterwards, when you drink that water, whew, feels amazing, right? It's just had all this love poured into it, and now you just take it right into your body and drink it down, and the feeling is so incredible. It's definitely an amazing way to raise your vibration. And she talked about, you know, she was at such a low point in her life that when she would do this practice and put all this love into her water and drink it, it would have such a huge effect and impact on her body that she would literally be on the floor like shaking at the transition of energy, right? It would be so much for her system to handle. And I think you know, for most people it probably won't be that extreme. For me it wasn't, but it just feels amazing to me anytime that I've done it. You know, when I have time to just sit with it and I feel like doing the practice and doing that ritual, I can really feel the difference after I'm drinking it. And even before that, as you're just pouring in that love, you know, that's a great practice to carry, just thinking about things that you love and just feeling that vibration of love. So we can always do that anytime we sit down to eat. Just take a little moment and just recognize the beauty, recognize, you know, the sacredness of having the food that we're going to eat and paying respect to it and giving thanks for it. That's helped me a lot in my life anyway. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share for today. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Enjoy your food and give thanks for it. You know, some people in this world, they don't have anything to eat throughout the day. So many people are still starving every single day. So I think it's important not to take the food that we have for granted and to be very thankful for it. So yeah, that's it for today. Peace and limitless love.